appreciate you being on the show. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
It's been a long time, man. I think the last time we saw each other was you were at Temple University. You were at one of your events
Yeah.
at the Leah Core Center. What was that, 5, 6, 7 years ago? I'm not even
Something
sure.
like that. After so many games, they all start to run together.
Run together. No, I'm
The years
sure.
do. The years do.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, Chris, man, I'm super excited to have you on here as a very special guest. Chris is probably the most influential, well-traveled old friend that I know. He's visited every state in the United States. He's visited 83 countries, and he's passionate about making the world a better place, which I think defines the podcast here as constructing greatness. That's what Chris has done. He's constructed his greatness. He's a professional athlete and a motivational speaker. Chris and I met, what was back in 5th, 6th grade? Is that sound about right?
That. Yeah, about that.
About 37 years ago, showing our age.
Yeah.
At Susquehanna Township High School. That's suburbs of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And what I remember most about you, Chris, is your positive energy. You just always, and attitude, just always positive. You could see you were destined for greatness, man.
Oh, thanks a lot, man.
Absolutely.
Likewise.
I appreciate it. So your path, you're a Harlem Globetrotter. But when did you know that was your dream? I know you talk about it being a lifelong dream. When exactly did you know that?
Ironically, I was 6 years old. I saw the Globetrotters on the cartoon Scooby-Doo. I knew I either wanted to solve mysteries or play for the Globetrotters. So I picked up a ball and never put it back down, and been trying to do it ever since. I was actually at a young age on the ground, dribbling the ball, just trying to imitate the Harlem Globetrotters. It was my introduction to basketball.
Yeah.
And that was my goal.
Awesome. I failed to mention that you were also known in high school for your handles. Your ability to dribble the rock.
Yeah.
When did you get that nickname, by the way? Handles.
I actually got it in high school.
That's what I thought.
What I thought. So during the summer leagues, there was a guy I played on the summer league team, Sean Broden. He would give everybody nicknames, and he would always say you have handles, and he just started calling me Handles. And one summer we had a real good basketball team. He had everybody's nickname on their shorts and across their backside. On their shirt and on the backside of their shorts. And it's been with me ever since. So like the 10th, 11th grade, maybe 10th grade.
Yeah, I remember you dribbling the ball when you were on your knees playing a game a few times.
Yeah.
You always could handle, man.
Ironically, I practiced that stuff, so it worked well when I fell.
Now you have a Guinness Book of World Records. What is that exactly? What is the record?
The longest on the knees backward shot. So it's usually a shot I do. The Globetrotters are synonymous with their half court trick shots, and that's usually a shot I shoot from half court during the games. But I wanted to make it a record that no one could break. So I went about as far as I possibly can go, which is pretty much from about inside the opposite top of the key, over the head, backwards on my knees.
I've seen it. It's awesome. It's awesome. So when you went to Lock Haven University to play college basketball, correct?
Yeah.
Did you play all 4 years?
No, actually, I played 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
2.5.
Okay.
At Lock Haven, and when I went to transfer, I actually went to transfer, and I transferred for my final year to Barton College in North Carolina.
Okay.
And Barton College, I finished out basketball. Then I went back to Lock Haven University, and I received my degree. And after I received my degree, I went right into grad school, went straight in to get my master's degree. And after I got my master's degree, I really went after my dream, which was to be a Globetrotter.
Okay. So you went for social work for college, correct?
Yep, bachelor's and master's in social work with a concentration in community organization.
Did you ever have a normal job?
Um, yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I worked in the field for a little bit. So I was a child therapist,
Okay.
and I would work with kids. At the same time, I was still touring,
Hmm.
still touring on these different units and teams. And then I had my big break with a Nike commercial, and I still was doing a little bit part-time while playing professional ball.
Okay.
Hmm.
What's your favorite country that you've been to on all your travels?
Well, I like different countries for different reasons. I'm a big history buff, so I love divulging into the history of these countries. If I had to pick one favorite, it would probably be Australia.
Okay.
I like Australia because it's not only beautiful, all the towns are really beautiful places, but you're on the other side of the world and you still can understand what people are saying.
Hmm.
So you don't have the language barrier, and so it was just really, really a great place to tour, and I enjoyed it there.
Very cool. I hear they're very friendly there too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are, and
Yeah.
they really enjoyed the American culture and what we brought
Hmm.
as Globetrotters. I got a chance to experience a lot of things. Held a koala bear and fed that, and held a wombat and fed that, and
Very cool.
fed the kangaroos and things of that nature. So I just had some amazing experiences there.
Very cool, Chris. So your lifelong dream at 6 years old, you went after it right after college. And and
Yeah,
and how long did it take you to finally get there?
a long time actually. It was ironically, I didn't know how to get to the Harlem Globetrotters, so I sent them a tape. It was a long time ago when I'm
Hmm.
sending a tape. They don't make tapes no more. So I made a unique tape of just things that I did, and they were interested. There was a guy, Orlando Antigua, who played for the Globetrotters. When I was at grad school at Pitt, he would come back to Pitt. He had played at the University of Pittsburgh, and I got him this tape, and they got it to the Globetrotters, and they were interested. But that year was the NBA lockout, and right before I was supposed to fly out to camp, like they called me. I had actually had an offer to teach a program at Pitt at the University of Pittsburgh, and I turned down that job, turned down all my jobs, and and in the last second they pulled out. It was the NBA lockout, and all these players that were going into the NBA draft ended up going to the Globetrotters, and I was stuck.
Ah,
The door closed. So then I just worked the avenue. So I went, signed a contract, played with this team out in Colorado, then moved to New York City and played with a team there. And once I moved to New York, kind of started making a name for myself as far as a ball handler on another level. And then I got my big break. This was years later. I got my big break with, I actually was a replacement for the world's best dribbler contest. So they had the world's best dribblers on all these cities: Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Atlanta. And after they would win their respective cities, they would compete nationally All-Star Weekend. It was a Nike competition. And a friend of mine had won New York City, but he had gotten an accident and he couldn't do it. So the day before, you know, he was telling me about it, and I sheepishly asked if I could do it. And he made a couple calls, and I was a replacement. So I drove down to Washington D.C. All
hmm.
Star Weekend, and I was a replacement, and it was weird. It was Nike was. I'm in the room with all the winners from all these cities, and Nike gave me a free jacket, two pair of sneakers, and a Nike gym bag. So I didn't care whether I won or lost. I was just happy to get all that free stuff. Um, and they turned that when we competed that evening. It was judged by Vince Carter, Gary Payton, Rasheed Wallace,
Oh wow.
I think Jason Kidd, and I was representing New York City. And I remember I'm watching all of these people do all of this stuff warming up. and I'm seeing stuff I never seen. And the crowd started rolling in, and they're working on all these cool tricks. And I'm just on the side watching. And the head of Nike New York came and said, "Aren't you going to practice? Aren't you going to warm up?" And I said, "No, I'm okay." See, I've been preparing for that moment all my life, just waiting to get a chance.
Did you
And
say
so when
that?
it was my turn,
Did you say that to
no,
him
I
or
didn't
no?
say that, but I was
Okay.
thinking. I just
Yeah.
said, "No, I'm okay."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, man, I just want to get out here and show what I can do. And I didn't know
Absolutely.
how it would fare, but I ended up getting a perfect score, all tens, won the entire competition, and Nike said they wanted to do commercials.
Oh, wow.
And after I won that World's Best Dribbler contest, I auditioned. Well, I actually didn't have to audition for my first commercial. I think over 1,000 people auditioned, and they narrowed it down. And then at my first Nike commercial, which was called Freestyle, that commercial went off and just changed my life overnight. So that commercial ended up winning 13 awards, an ESPY award. It's currently in the African American History Museum forever.
So
and after
cool.
that commercial, it just, my life changed overnight.
Great story, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So you've been a Harlem Globetrotter now for just over 13 years, right?
Yeah.
I
And
believe you
actually,
just.
I was under contract with Nike for 5 years.
Okay.
I was under contract with Nike for 5 years, and was known as one of the best dribblers in the world. And eventually the Globetrotters came looking for me. So ironically, I had been looking for the Globetrotters and it wasn't working. And once I became known as one of the best in the world, they came
They
looking
came
for
after
me.
you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. You know, the ironic thing about that is, you know, I remember when it didn't work out, right? That was in 1999. And when that didn't work out, I was like so devastated, right? And if I would have gotten on the Globetrotters back there in 99, there's nobody on the team that's still around from that time. So I probably wouldn't be on the team either, of course. And then on top of that, I wouldn't have got a chance to do all these amazing things. Like I did LeBron James' first commercial. I did the MTV Music Awards live on national TV with rap artist Jay-Z. I did a Broadway play with LL Cool J. I toured all over the world, filming LeBron James' first commercial. Just all these amazing things.
Yeah.
Because I ultimately failed in 99. And then I came back and got a whole nother career after that career ended. So that's why I always tell people, man, when one door closes, it just may not be your time.
Yeah.
It's opening up doors for other opportunities.
Yep.
You know,
failures are lessons, right? And you figured it out. You figured it out. Yep.
Absolutely.
No, great stuff, man. Great stuff. So tell us a little bit about your foundation.
Well, it's my charitable wing, Chris Handel's Franklin Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had originally, I always had done charitable work. And about 5 years ago, I made it official. So I started off wanting to redo a park, renovate a basketball court in a low-income neighborhood in the city, on 4th and Emerald in Harrisburg,
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania. And they had wanted to fix this court for maybe 20 years. And they had dedicated the court to a community leader that helped raise me, Coach Campbell. And the park was all right, but the court was horrible. So we tried to raise money to get the courts fixed. And when we couldn't, you know, I had to put up or shut up. So I ended up helping to renovate that court. We resurfaced it. We put up glass backboards. We put a mural of Coach Campbell in the middle, and we redid the whole court. And once the city saw that we were able to do that, they matched the money, and they put in new LED lights and new fencing, and it just turned into this beautiful, beautiful park that kept kids out of trouble and kept kids busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, personally, I think that kids are a lot less active with video games and
Yes.
the internet.
Yes.
So I wanted to try to do something to to help get kids active again. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was my first basketball court. So I went on since then to do 3 other courts since then. And also, so my foundation is my charitable wing. We renovate basketball courts. Every single year we give away turkeys and Thanksgiving dinners to needy families. During Christmas, we not only help feed the homeless, but we provide coats, hats, scarves, toiletries to homeless families. Just some of the things we do. But, you know, we've done a number of different things throughout the community and hope to continue to do great things in the community.
I'm sure you will. That sounds great, man. It really does. Outside of work, what do you do with that you're passionate about? Hobbies. Obviously you're passionate about your charitable work, but like anything outside of, or you're passionate about work and that's it?
Yeah, well, it's ironically, it's cliche, but people say if you work your hobby, you'll never work a day in your life. And
yes.
I mean, that's what I do. Like the things that I do for work, and I mean, it's the stuff that I love to do. I love helping people. I love helping others. My parents passed that gene on to me. My father was a police officer. My mother worked at a hospital. We were that family where anything that was a problem in the neighborhood, they would knock on my father's door all hours of the night, and he would try to help them. And I think I was raised that way. So, I mean, I think it's in my DNA to help others, and I really find joy in helping other people. So like a lot of those things are my hobbies. So I stay busy, as Harlem Globetrotters, we on the road, man, for probably 6-7 months out of the year, play over 250 games a year. So when I come home, I mean, we're a different city every single day. So when I come home, it doesn't slow down. It actually gets a little more hectic because at least on the road, I'm just worried about myself. At home, I'm worried about, my family, my community. So I stay busy with it, man. I spend time with family quite often and try to help out people in our community. I've been taught to whom much is given, much is required. And we got to try to do what we can, especially for the youth out here. Yeah. So those are my hobbies, man.
What do you think is in your future after you're done with the Globetrotters, whenever that may be? Where do you see yourself heading?
Yeah, well, ironically, I usually speak about this too, is that when you've achieved your ultimate goal, like what is next? What do you do after you achieve your ultimate goal? And my ultimate goal was to be a Globetrotter. Now, I've been doing this for 13 years. I never thought I'd be currently on my 14th year of being a Harlem Globetrotter, especially at the age. When I got to the Globetrotters, it was at a time where most people are retiring. So people, man, they told me I was too old to be a Harlem Globetrotter. The old Globetrotters told me that. It's too late. Your time has passed. So, I mean, one thing I've learned is that, it's never too late to be great. It's never too late to do what your dreams are, to do what your aspirations are.
Yes.
So for me, I started setting new goals. And a lot of those is the growth of my foundation and doing my charitable work. A lot of those things I've been writing. I've been writing a book for a while that I'm hoping for that to come out soon. But also, awesome. I'm passionate about the field of social work, helping others in that aspect. So I'm looking at some programs that I'm looking to start coming around soon. So all those things are in my horizon. And I'm blessed enough to be one of the few players that the Globetrotters invested in. So whereas most people, when their career ends, they're done. I'm still a player, but I'm also on the coaching staff. I'm also one of the scouts for the Globetrotters. So I've been able to diversify and continue to make a way if that's an option. And for me, as long as I'm passionate of doing it and I love doing it, I'll continue. And when I no longer have the love for it. It's time for me to do something different.
Yeah. You answered
And I
one of the
think,
questions. Go ahead.
And ironically, COVID brought a lot of these things to reality. I've always been so much on the go. I never got a chance to stop and think. I mean, I'm always go, go, go,
Yeah.
go, go,
You
go,
slowed
go,
down.
go.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
the forced stoppage was actually a blessing for me.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a forced slowdown, and I think my body and my mind needed it. So now I'm back to reading. I probably read about 14, 15 books during COVID, during the break. And I think it's always about making yourself better, continuing to learn, and so I'm excited about some future things in the horizon.
Yeah, no, I love it. And COVID has certainly helped me slow down too. And this podcast is one thing that I got done. It's something I wanted to do for, almost a year now. And I had time to do it. And it's just a passion project. And again, Chris, I really appreciate you, you joining me on, this is my 4th episode. And thank you again for being here, man.
I honored to be on. Honored to be on.
I appreciate it. And you answered my question. I actually was going to ask you about COVID and what that's done for you. And you answered that and also what it takes to be great and stay passionate. And you pretty much explained that as well. What are you working on right now outside of what you mentioned? You're writing a book.
Well, well, I'm very interested in, well, right now there's, I'm not sure when we'll get back to touring. And I think, when that's the case, obviously as an organization with the Globetrotters, it's about the players and the people coming to see you play. It's about ensuring their safety. So you just never know when that is. So for me, I'm back into child therapy, working in that field a little bit. Also working with kids on a one-on-one basis and trying to create young leaders. I mean, I think all those things are important. So those are some of the current things I'm working on. I actually have the neighborhood I grew up in, Edgemont, the Edgemont Firehouse. I actually that's where my foundation is housed. So growing up, it was a firehouse. Now it's the home of my foundation, and so I'm looking to start a youth program and helping out in the community out of that building.
Okay. So you currently reside in Harrisburg?
Yeah, never left. Really.
Okay.
Well, coming up, I spent a couple years in New York City, and I think 1 year in Colorado. Other than that, I've always been back in Harrisburg. Even when I'm on tour, I have a home here in Harrisburg, but I leave and come back. So when I'm home, I'm home.
Could you see yourself live anywhere else, or Harrisburg's home?
Well, Harrisburg is home for me. Like you said, I had a chance to travel to all 50 states and 84 countries around the globe. So, I've been able to experience different cultures and ethnicities all over the globe, and and experience people all over the globe. It's always good to get back home. So a lot of people watch me, try to do what I'm doing right now. Try to be a Harlem Globetrotter all my life. Watch me dribbling up and down the street and making noise all over the place. So it's always gratifying to get back to quote Cheers, where everybody knows your name. So Harrisburg is home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with any of our old high school friends? You see anybody or?
Yeah. Still great friends with the same friends. So, we still stay in contact quite frequently.
Great.
And, we never fell out of touch actually. So the same friends I had then are the same friends I have now. So
great.
So it's been good. You know, and you know, ironically, what I do is I'm able to, as I travel around the world, it's always great when I'm able to see people from home on the road. And, you know, some of the weirdest places, I remember I was playing in Denver in Pepsi Arena, and I'm on the bench and someone's screaming my government name that no one knows. So people know me as Chris or as Handles, but my government name is Christian, which most people don't know unless you knew me a long time. You know, my name is Christian. I just never went by that.
Right.
And somebody kept screaming, Christian, Christian. And I looked, and coming down the steps was somebody that I grew up with in my neighborhood that went to Susquehanna.
Okay.
And he was living way out in Denver and was at the game. So, you know, it's weird being in different places.
Yeah.
In Dubai, seeing people from Susquehanna.
Oh, wow.
And
We have a little internet connection issue. Can you hear me, Chris?
high school. So, I mean, it's always been an awesome experience.
Man, I can't imagine. Can you hear me okay, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It was an internet connection issue, looks like, on me, I believe. No, I can't imagine, Chris, traveling 83, 84 countries. I have a bucket list, and I'm hitting them slowly, but I have a lot to catching up to do to you, that's for sure. As far as the traveling.
Well, that's the way to do. Just mark them off.
Mark them off.
Yeah.
So if anyone
that's
wants,
all right.
if anyone wants to get a hold of you for any reason, how can they contact you? What's the best way to contact Chris Handles?
Well, I'm rather active on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Chris Handles, ChrisHandles. And then my foundation, of course, is handlesfoundation.org.
Okay.
So both of those ways are probably the best way. My social media or through the foundation website.
What would you say you're most active on? What's social media platform?
Probably Instagram.
Instagram?
Probably Instagram. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably most active on Instagram. But I try to stay current with the times. Mm-hmm. It took some relearning. But you know, half of my teammates are fresh out of college, so they try to keep me current with what's going on.
It's so easy for them, right? It's so ezy for them.
Yeah,
social media.
It's second nature. Yeah, it's second nature. Yeah.
Well, great, man. I appreciate it. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I'm just like I said, I'm honored to reconnect and honored to be on the show. So just happy we were able to connect. I actually glad we were able to make it happen. I actually was late the first time, of course, because I had a meeting with the mayor, which some interesting stuff coming, hopefully some good things. But happy to be able to be on the show and speak with you.
Chris, me too, man. It's always a pleasure. And you mentioned that you're not playing as much now. You're more coaching. Like
no, I'm still playing.
You are still playing. Okay.
Yeah. One thing that I've learned, especially in this field, is the more boxes you fill, the more important you are. I mean, I think in life you have to make yourself important to the organization. Mm-hmm. And whatever organization, whatever business whatever field you're working in, you make yourself as important as possible. And I think what makes me important to the organization is because I can do so many things. There's only but so many showmen like what Metal Art Lemon did, the person that's mic'd up. There's not a lot of people that can do it. So I do that. I'm able to dribble. I'm able to do the interviews. I'm able to coach and take a team and run that team and run that organization and coach. I'm one of the scouts. So because I fill so many boxes and I'm versatile, I've been able to make myself important to the organization. So,
Yeah.
but I'm still playing. I'm still playing full fledged, and right now, probably will be playing a lot more because I would imagine our sizes will probably shrink. That would be my guess. I'm not sure. So, I think I'll be playing a lot more. So that's another goal of mine is to make sure this old body stays in shape.
Yeah, I mean, you define being a high achiever and a learner, which is what you keep doing. Did you ever take those personality traits where you take it and they give you 34 categories of personalities? If you take them, I bet you achiever and learner would probably be your top 5 in your top 5.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. No, I never did.
I'll send you a link. It's really cool.
Okay.
It's about 100 questions, and it spits you out very detailed reports about your personality, and you'll be like, "Wow, yeah, that's me. That's me." They're pretty neat.
Okay, yeah. I'll be looking for it. I'll be looking for that.
Chris, man, appreciate it again. Great reconnecting, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to hearing from you and talking to you soon. Hopefully get you out to a game when we get back on the road.
I'd love to. I'd love to see you again. I think, like I said, it was about 7 years ago. The kids were little, but we had a lot of fun.
That's all right, man. That's all right. Yeah.
Good to see you, brother. And yeah, I'll connect with you soon on social media. Did you have something else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you again.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
See you, buddy.